I knew I should have logged off when I saw someone tweet, if you eat cereal for dinner, you're emotionally unemployed. Then 2 scrolls later, someone said, drinking iced coffee in the winter is trauma behavior. I personally agree with that, especially coming from the South and seeing people in the North now drink coffee, especially iced coffee, when it's negative 10 degrees. I mean, that's insane, right? Like, I'm not the only person that thinks it's insane. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. Meanwhile, AI is out here learning how to do surgery, write poems, file taxes, and edit. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's edits of like humans or people talking to an AI, Sasquatch, monkey, whatever, answering the most insane questions. Maybe having AI on a podcast would be kind of interesting. I'll save that. I'll note that. Meanwhile, AI is out here learning how to do surgery, write poetry, and file taxes. And I'm just trying to figure out if I need to delete my burner account before my next job interview. The answer is yes. Don't keep it under your name. Change it to something completely different. Whatever. You know what I mean. The internet has gone from fun to unhinged to accidental profit. 1 minute it's a joke. The next minute, it's a thread called Why Reality Doesn't Exist and Your Birth Certificate is a Social Contract. And that tweet has 84,000 likes. So today, I'm bringing the timeline and more to the mic, not just for laughs, but to ask the real question. This is From X to X. You're listening to Away From Home. I'm your host, LS. Let's get into scrolling mindlessly. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the last episode. I was kind of thrilled to have been able to put it out. Extremely scary, especially being super conscious of myself and who I am and how I speak. The freaking mouth noises. I don't know if that bothers anybody else, but I've become mindful of everything I do, everything I say, the constant editing. I could go on and talk about this forever and ever and ever, but I wanted to bring up some just like internet stuff that I had seen that I thought was pretty funny. Stuff from Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, honestly, because I feel like the internet is constantly evolving, and being able to witness it from a third person's perspective is kind of intrinsically insane, because I don't use social media. I mean, now I have to for this podcast, but before that, I'm not and have never been a person that was prophetically on Instagram. Twitter's another thing, but I think the reason why I love Twitter is because there's constantly chaos going on, and I just like being in the thick of it. But I don't want to be a person actually in the mess. I just want to sit and watch the mess happen. I'm not cleaning anything. It's not my responsibility. But I'm definitely watching other people fail and realizing why I won't make that mistake. I mean, maybe I will. I most likely will. But that's what happens when we are all going through the same human experience. Anyways, the first thing I wanted to talk about is AI. I think AI is a very important topic to be spoken about in general. If you're not using AI to your best advantage, then you're kind of set behind in everything. I don't know if you had seen, but there was this video of this guy. I saw it on Twitter. This episode's about X. Of course, I'm going to talk about it from Twitter. But there was this guy who was graduating. I can't remember the school, but I think if I look it up right now, apologies for the clickety clacks, but I am doing everything in real time because I feel like that's more fun. University student, AI, graduation. Okay, all right. Here it is. There is this kid, and he is graduating from, I don't even know what university, but this kid, it's insane. This kid is graduating from some university. I don't know what university it is, but it's a graduation ceremony in California, and a student is blatantly and boldly showing how he used ChatGPT, shout out ChatGPT, for his final papers during the graduation. Like, the camera is panning over all of the students, seeing everybody's excitement, kind of getting everyone riled up, excited for the moment right before, you walk up, you get that piece of paper, they say your name, you walk down the thing, shake hand, shake hand, shake hand, photo, 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 back to your seat. This guy has his computer open and he's scrolling through ChatGPT. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I could only find it on Facebook, but I'll try and see if I can find it elsewhere. And I put it down in the description of this episode. You can definitely should click it and give it a watch. But AI is such an important tool that is constantly being used and talked about all the time. And obviously when you think about AI in a worldly aspect, you start to think about that Will Smith movie where the robots all go insane and there's one robot, that iRobot, that's what it's called, iRobot. You start thinking about iRobot, or you start thinking about any of the Terminator movies and how AI could quickly shift from being an assessment tool that helps progress humanity into being a tool that replaces humanity, thus making humanity the subspecies and AI the alpha species. I mean, if you think about it too much, there's a lot of philosophical takes that you could have about AI. I'm not here to do any of that in this episode. Be on the lookout for an episode about it very, very soon. But I wanted to bring up therapy, ChatGPT, and AI. I found this Reddit thread on r/therapy abuse, and this is how it goes. A lot of therapists claim that AI bots like ChatGPT can't replace therapy or therapists because empathy is a human emotion. Okay, so before I even get into the rest of that, I think just that is kind of true. Unless you have emotional robots, then maybe they'll be able to kind of figure out what emotion is. But then that gets too much into artificial intelligence and what AI can be realistically used. I don't know if you've seen the movie Her, but I feel like this is another thing that plays deeply into the thoughts of AI. Her, the movie, came out in 2013. It's a romantic sci-fi movie. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes. The synopsis is, a sensitive and soulful man earns a living by writing personal letters for other people. Left heartbroken after his marriage ends, Theodore becomes fascinated with a new operating system which reportedly develops into an intuitive and unique entity in its own right. He starts the program and meets Samantha, whose bright voice reveals a sensitive, playful personality. Though friends initially, the relationship soon deepens into love. I love this movie. I thought it was a brilliant movie. It's 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, 91% on Metacritic, and 8 out of 10 on IMDb. But I brought this movie up because the whole idea of AI with emotion plays perfectly off of that movie. Like in the movie, this guy has a little device, and Samantha, who's an AI robot, kind of plays the part of a partner for this guy. I mean, obviously it's playing off of him being a sad man post-marriage and post-rapidly declining divorce and emotional instability with the way that he's looked at in the relationship or in relation to his friends, and how his ex-wife is still friends with his friends because they're all in a group, blah, blah, blah. He starts relating to Samantha as a real being. I mean, Samantha is a real being, but not real can touch you real. Do you know what I mean? If AI gets to that point, then it'll be a very interesting situation for all of humanity. I'm getting way off topic. Let's go back to the Reddit story. So I'll read it again. A lot of therapists claim that AI bots like ChatGPT can't replace therapists. Then they go on to say, I've rarely had a therapist or a therapist organization genuinely apologize to me, even for comments or notes that some would consider racist, blatantly abusive, boundary breaking, discriminatory against disabilities, etc. Most ghost or double down. Meanwhile, ChatGPT will at least admit some apology for even insensitive misunderstandings. I don't think AI is a silver bullet, and I have my qualms. But really, If a lot of the field cannot take accountability for the actions/hurt they caused with a proper apology, then perhaps a good amount already have less empathy in comparison to a free model that isn't even sentient. That's sad. I agree. I mean, that's a lie. I've been to a therapist. It was a very interesting situation. I think everybody deserves to go to therapy. Most people have problems and need to talk to somebody that is a professional. Now, do I think that ChatGPT is the best therapist that you can go to? No. I think being able to use ChatGPT to better yourself and better the ideas that you may have and kind of bounce off of that, or maybe even use it as a non-biased way of reflecting who you are and getting a unbiased opinion off of your own mindset. I think that would be really, really important to do. But I don't think using ChatGPT to replace everything that you have in your life, especially as a therapist, is the best thing to do. Because again, ChatGPT is an open form model, but that open form model is learning from the constant use from other people. So ChatGPT is only learning from you or me because of the things that we tell it. And then it's using that to contextualize itself for the next person on a grandiose kind of scale. Let's read some comments. The top comment is, my therapist apologized to me recently and asked me if I accepted his apology/agreed to move on. So I said yes. Then he, in the next breath, immediately defended the thing he apologized for and said I couldn't rebut his defense of it anymore because I had already agreed to move on. Like, what is even the point of apologizing then? What kind of empty insert insult song and dance was that? Give me my $200 back. It appears that his apology was a strategy to say I couldn't criticize it anymore while he still got infinite time to defend it. Convincing manipulation or idiocy in absence of self-awareness. I don't know. Please find me any definition of apology that makes sense. And then someone commented, it's called hypocrisy. I agree. I mean, the therapist definitely shouldn't have said, I apologize for X. Do you accept my apology? Do you then accept his apology or their apology, only for them to backtrack and continue to defend the issue that they were initially talking about, but saying that you can't defend yourself because you had already accepted their apology. I mean, that's just straight up stupid, right? Like, but feeling that way, maybe this thread, and I probably should have done my research. I'll do my research next time. I promise. I'm learning. But I feel like this thread and maybe all the other people that are speaking on this topic or speaking under this thread are speaking into the fact of being able to express their grievances. But I don't know if ChatGPT will be the answer. I feel like just realizing that the therapist that you're talking to, the person that you are talking to right now, isn't the person that you want to continue to talk to, and then just find a better therapist. This is not a sponsored anything. I have no sponsors. I literally just started. But if you haven't used ZocDoc before, I think you should definitely use that. ZocDoc is a pretty good tool for finding therapists, doctors, or anything in between. Again, this is not a sponsored ad or sponsored anything. I just think it's a better way of finding, people in your network, a doctor, a therapist, a blah, blah, blah. So yeah, ChatGPT is definitely not the answer when it comes to therapy, because the information that you might get might just be classified information that isn't correct. Like if we all unanimously, this is kind of funny, if we all unanimously decided to tell ChatGPT from the jump, or any AI algorithm from the jump, 2 + 2 is 5. And that's all that ChatGPT knew. There was articles and internet searches and all this other stuff that it could look up and kind of back that basis off of what it's hearing from the human mouth and the human mind. Would it tell other people that 2 + 2 is 5? Probably. Because we all as humans know that 2 + 2 is not 5. 2 + 2 is 4, by the way, just in case you were curious. But we all know that it's not 5. But how long or how much influence does ChatGPT and other AIs have in the information that it would then continue to regurgitate back out to the person asking, hey, what is 2 plus 2? Now, I'm not slandering ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. I use it a lot. I think it's a great way to formulate anything. I think if you wanted an outside bias on any topic, finance, understanding, proofreading, etc., I think ChatGPT and other AI utilization is important in pushing the betterment of humanity and furthering who we are. But I don't think it's a replacement for what happens in life. I don't think it's a replacement for the important aspects of human interaction in life. The human experience is important to have because it's intrinsically the human experience. It's not the AI experience. Do you think AI has its own experience? Is that a dumb thing to ask? Maybe I should ask ChatGPT. I'll get back to you. I'll ask, and then I'll circle back at the end of the episode, and we can kind of talk about it. Moving away from all this AI talk into social anxiety and a bit of burnout. I feel like everyone has social anxiety, even the people who say they've never gone through anxiety whatsoever. I feel like that's just a fallacy. You're just telling yourself a lie and trying to convince yourself that lying to yourself will make you believe it even more. The whole fake it till you make it. But I found this tweet saying, my mental health watching me order an iced coffee knowing it's only going to intensify my anxiety. First thing, as someone who's from the South and currently living in the North and seeing people order iced coffees and drink it when it's negative 10 degrees outside, I think that already is something that needs to be talked about. Not by me, because I'm not doing that. I like a hot coffee or a tea. I think that's better. But iced coffee when it's cold, just have regular coffee or room temperature coffee and continue moving. Like, your coffee won't get watered down from... I'm getting lost in the wrong part of this whole conversation. Let's get back into it. Ordering that iced coffee is like making another bad life choice. Now, I'm not saying ordering iced coffee is a bad choice. I'm just saying being more self-aware, or being self-aware enough that you know that the iced coffee will only emphasize your anxiety, is very positive. You understand your... What the fuck am I saying? It's good to be self-aware about the coffee. You know that the coffee is going to make you itch and twitch and overthink. Being self-aware about what the coffee will do to you. I mean, the whole point of the tweet is not even the iced coffee part. I think that's just me taking a jab at people in the North. I think it's strange, but I like my Cuban coffee hot, small, and dark. Being self-aware of that, and honestly, the anxiety culture / paradox of self-care in and of itself is a very interesting thing to kind of like look at. Because how did we get here? Like I can't even order a drink without wondering if it's triggering my fight or flight response. I feel like that's what the coffee is ultimately going to do. I mean, maybe not directly trigger your fight or flight response, but definitely play a bigger part into how you're going to be affected throughout the day. That iced coffee is going to get to you. I mean, I'm also a guy who drinks regular coffee. I'm a guy who drinks coffee in the morning and still has that same coffee by the time I get out of work. I know people who have 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee throughout the entire day. 3 in the morning, which is insane to me, because I don't know if you've seen the size of coffee in the United States, but it can get pretty large. And I mean, even a large is not even as big as an extra large or a double XL or a tall grande, blah, 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 whatever. The amount of caffeine that is being ingested by society is insane. And using coffee instead of getting a good night's sleep is not going to save you. We've now overdiagnosed everything to a point where now ordering a coffee could be seen as a cry for help. Meanwhile, I'm standing at the register thinking, should I get a matcha? I'm probably not going to get a matcha. I'm a cappuccino kind of guy. I feel like a good cappuccino goes really great with almost anything. Cappuccino, no sugar, and a sweet. A sweet would go nicely with that. We're currently in this weird place where we just know enough about psychology to be self-aware, but not enough to actually be healed. Now again, I'm no therapist. I'm not bringing this to you as a therapist. I'm only presenting this as a way to be aware of the chaos that is presented on social media and how relative it is to our everyday life. I mean, again, everything from the AI chat box to therapist, coffe. Maybe I am trying to be a therapist. I'm not. Please take this as a warning. I am not a therapist. Everything I say is from the mouth of a man. Remember that. I am just a man living in the world. You know what's funny? Even me saying what I just said is kind of me overthinking in real time about the small stuff. We joke about overthinking, but it's extremely real, especially as someone who is a top tier overthinker and a person that talks to themselves almost constantly. I know the real struggles of overthinking. I've stood in front of my fridge trying to decide between whole milk and oat milk as if it's a hostage negotiation. Why am I anxious about the type of milk that I'm using for my cereal? I couldn't tell you. But in that moment, it feels like it's the biggest thing and the most important thing to me. I mean, I could be driving and thinking about, oh, well, if I have to leave for an outing with my friends and be there by 6:30 and it's 30 minutes away, but I take into account how long it takes me to get ready, I want to shower before, I want to shave before, I start to overthink about the entire process. And if it starts at 6:30 and I want to get there by 6:15, then I probably have to be ready and start leaving at 2. Now, do I actually need to start getting ready around 2? No, I can probably get ready around 5:30, be completely fine and drive and get there on time. But overthinking starts to take over your entire mind. And I feel like I don't even need to talk about this topic too much because I'm not trying to speak to someone who doesn't know what overthinking is. I'm preaching to the choir. We all know and have been affected by overthinking. Even right now, while I'm doing this recording, while I'm sitting here at my desk in front of my computer, teleprompter up, ChatGPT, all of my websites, all of my thoughts and ideas bullet pointed in front of me, I'm actively sweating profusely about the next words that will be said. I mean, I want to make sure that it sounds good, make sure that I sound good. I want to make sure that the recording doesn't stop. I want to make sure that I'm aware that there's not too much mouth noises, that my cat's not in the way, that Dorian is fed, that my neighbors won't go off or the car horn won't go off or anything because I'm constantly overthinking about the next thing, when in reality it probably adds to the ambiance. It adds to the realness of the entire thing. It's not a whole studio, a whole kit, a whole this, a whole that, a whole team. It's me, a microphone, headphones, and Google Chrome. That's literally what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Google Chrome, watching the countdown increase as my record time increases. And I'm still overthinking. I'm probably going to spend way too long editing this just for it to be another 30+ minute episode. But I feel like that's all a part of the human experience. And I know this whole episode was supposed to be about from X to X, Twitter threads, funny, Reddit threads, funny, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm actively overthinking about what this topic is even about. And if I'm even on a specific plot, what's the course of this? You know what? Let's break down this whole thing. You're here with me. I'm talking to you. Maybe this will help me not overthink. I sit down. I have my script ready just for the intro, nothing else. I kind of like bounce off of it a little bit to try and make it feel more realistic, but I have some sort of stream to add to my endless stream of consciousness. So I set my script up, I have my music up, and I start. I read my script, I hit play, I hit record, I record. I hit the first topic, hit the second topic, hit the third topic, little self-reflection here, little mindless rant there. I move on to the next topic. I mean, all of this is just me overthinking. I'm overthinking right now. Is that breaking the meta? Is that like breaking the fourth wall? Or is this kind of like me talking to you and you're just listening back to it? I'm hoping it's the latter. I'm really, really hoping it's the latter. Okay, I have lost it. Let's move on. The paradox of self-care. Did you guys ever get that ad on TikTok, maybe Instagram, I don't know, maybe other places, but there was an ad about a shadow journal, I think, maybe, or some sort of journal where I had seen multiple different types of it, I mean, all of it is just people trying to sell you something. But I had seen one where if your dad is still alive, give him this journal and he can write all the stuff and then you can read it and kind of learn and reflect off of your parent more. I saw one for your mother. I saw one in English, Spanish, all these other different languages. But all of it plays into an act or masking self-care. I mean, hopefully everyone is being reflective and introspective in themselves and understanding who they are and trying to better themselves and try to better themselves each and every day. But that's not the reality of the universe or anywhere intrinsically close to the human experience. It's almost always that you do something, you make a mistake. Hopefully you learn from that mistake. If you don't, you make the same mistake over and over and over again. I mean, Einstein, I believe it's Einstein. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I don't mind being told I was wrong. But Einstein said that insanity is making a mistake and repeating that mistake, expecting a new result. And I feel like that's what the whole paradox of self-care is. Being better about understanding yourself and not playing into this fallacy and paradox of self-care will always be the answer, and not trying, or at least trying to lessen the amount of overthinking that you're doing. I know that was a whole bunch of therapy for absolutely no reason, but I want to get into probably my final part of this entire episode. It's a tweet that I found that was really funny. I just want to go through. I promise I won't try and mansplain anything. This is a tweet from years ago. Honestly, I can't believe I was actually able to find this. God, it was so long. But it says, "What's the weirdest thing you've ever found in a boy's bathroom?" Allow me to start. I'm looking at a plunger with a brush, a hairbrush, duct tape to the top of. I will add this into the comments. You can go and read it. But it's a toilet plunger with a brush duct tape to the top. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. The next one is a turtle shell. Why would you need a turtle shell? Why would you need a turtle shell in general? What do you think that guy is using that turtle shell for? I'll wait. Exactly. The answer should be nothing. I couldn't think of anything. If you thought of something, please let me know. But I definitely didn't think of anything. Someone else said, and this is a man, he said, "In college, I had a dog clock where every hour was represented by a picture of a different dog. It barked on the hour, every hour, until my roommate shattered it in an Adderall-fueled rage when it barked while he was studying for a final." Hello? Do people not just have towels and dude wipes and regular TP in their bathroom anymore? Oh my God. I wish this was a video podcast. Maybe one day it'll be a video podcast. I need to be more self-aware of myself and not be shy, which is extremely counterintuitive, especially with me making a podcast and putting that into the world and allowing outside opinions to play a bigger part into my podcast, my opinions, my thoughts in general, and not being scared of what that outcome could be. I'm overthinking. I need to stop. I'm going to stop. Okay. The reason I'm freaking out is because someone said this was the only toilet paper in the bathroom. It is TP. Obviously, TP goes horizontally, right? You put the little tube inside of the hole. Pause. You put the little tube inside of the hole and you put the TP on the little holder thing. I'm assuming they lost the thing that goes through the TP, and the TP is vertical. How are you using? Who are these men? Who are these men? Who are these men? They need to be arrested. The draft needs to come back. World War III needs to. But let me stop. World War III is already happening. But that's insane. This next one is a shower curtain being held with clothing lines. The next one is a bathtub filled with. What is that? What? Oh my God. Go ahead, take a guess. I'll give you 3 options. If you thought A, dishes, B, clothes, or C, hair. Go ahead. Let's all sit here and think about what we think it is, right? I'll give us a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, drum roll please. If you chose I don't actually remember which option it was, but if you chose dishes, you are correct. Yes, it is a bathtub filled with dishes. It's a literal photo. There is chopsticks, a wooden fork, a toilet scrubber. Oh my goodness. Oh my. This next photo, this next photo is a toothbrush. The top 3/4 of the toothbrush, all the bristles are absolutely beat to smithereens. I mean, there's literally nothing left. There's probably, let's say a toothbrush has 1,000,000 bristles. There's probably 100,000. It's insane. And they're just, wow. Yeah. There's another photo. It's a toilet and there's a seat in front of the, you know what? I think that's my cue. I think that's my cue for leaving. I think that should be the end of it all. I mean, what in the world are we even talking about? I mean, what in the world was even... Okay. Scrolling is like people watching in the worst city of the world, but you can't look away. I mean, I could probably scroll on that last tweet thread for another 10 minutes. I mean, just doom scrolling on the thread alone. Please check it out. It's in the comments, or it's in the description down below. The timeline is chaos, but it's our chaos. And honestly, I feel like that says a lot about humanity. And you know what? I guess we'll just continue living in it. I mean, it's our life to live. It's our human experience. Until it's not. Am I right? Anyways, I'll be seeing you in the next episode of Away From Home. Sorry for the ramble. That was just an absolute cluster to get through. God, hopefully that was good. I'll be seeing you in the next episode. This was Away From Home. God, that was insane.